That's right, folks, we're finally in the home stretch. And with the bodywork and exhaust system now complete on our 2023 Dodge Hornet GT, it was really time to make it pop via a full custom wrap. That meant a trip to Daley Visual Custom Vehicle Wraps in Rancho Cucamonga, California. For over 18 years, Josh Daley, the owner of Daley Visuals, has been a leader in the world of automotive coverings. From full-on color change wraps and graphics to paint protection, ceramic coating, and window tinting, Daley Visuals' handiwork has been seen on everything from high-end builds to desert trucks and one-off customs, which is why, when it came time to finalize the visuals on our Hornet, Daley is where we landed.
Neil and I had gone back and forth over colors between black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Obviously,
it's like a rap song.
You know, the yellow obviously won, but we really wanted to get your opinion on the type of yellow, the type of black, and just kind of tap your expertise in general about what you're thinking about what we're doing.
If you guys like it, I think it's going to work out, but I think the color's really good.
Cool.
So what we're going with, I believe, if you guys think this color is good, this is matte Sonic Yellow Pearl. So it's got that pearlescent flake to it. It's going to have a little bit of change, as you can see with the lighting.
The contrast
and the sheen.
with the reflection on it.
Oh yeah, it's going to have a little bit of sheen. You're going to hit light on it in the right way. It's going to kind of glisten and pop in certain areas.
Okay.
And then is this what we're thinking for the black?
Yeah, I think that would look perfect.
That's fine.
Winner, winner.
Now what do we do next?
Well, typically, I would get mad at you guys for bringing me a dirty car, but because I love you guys.
Before any steps in the wrap process could take place, the Hornet needed to be washed, and thoroughly. An initial foam wash was done to remove any surface contaminants, of which there were many. Remember, for the last 5 weeks or so, the Hornet lived in a fully functional fabrication shop and was treated to not only its own bodywork happening, but it was also pelted with contaminants from other projects that were taking place over at Unique Fabrication. Once the wash process was complete, it was then time for the disassembly phase to begin. Pulling off the inner door panels allowed Josh and his crew the access needed to remove things like the door handles and additional trim. Once that was done, the emblems were taken off, until eventually the car looked like a big disassembled Lego set. As to why the crew at Daley goes this far, well, I'll let Josh explain it.
When wraps first came out, we weren't going through the steps we're going through now. It was basically like a sticker, you slap it on, you cut and trim around everything, but then you have colors showing underneath your headlights, you have colors showing in recessed areas that you can't physically get to because you've got objects in the way like handles, mirrors, headlights, taillights, things like that.
The process honestly is very eye-opening. So there's two ways to do it. There's the right way, which Daley Visual is doing it, and there's the wrong way, and that's your cousin down the street that says he could do it for $200. Don't go to him. That's not okay. Why are you sanding down the plastic?
Vinyl doesn't generally stick to plastic, so generally we wouldn't wrap this plastic. But if we sand down and get it smoother and get more porous subsurface area, the vinyl will get better bite.
Gotcha, okay.
And then we don't want to have a difference in look where we're all nice and smooth and clean on here, and then when we get into this surface where it's rough, because of the plastic texture, you'll see a difference in the two.
Next up was the application of the wrap itself, which takes us back to why the entire car was taken apart. Removing all the lights, lenses, and moldings gave Josh the access he needed to make sure the wrap could be folded and tucked into areas where access would have been prohibited if those body pieces were left in place. The process is extremely time-consuming, entailing a substantial amount of measuring, cutting, taping, and then ultimately laying down the vinyl so it mimicked a factory paint job. And while some may think applying a vehicle wrap is as simple as grabbing a heat gun and a squeegee, trust me when I tell you, there is so much more that goes into this than you can even imagine.
As opposed to laying it on and just smoothing it out, why were you pulling down and it almost looked like you were pulling and pushing at the same time?
Our technique when we're doing it is to always try to feed our vinyl in with as little pressure as possible. So as you can see, as I'm pushing, and I just kind of like hold my hand out right here, I can push the vinyl down all the way to the crack with very little force or pressure on the vinyl. So that way, over time, if it gets hot, it's not gonna wanna have the reaction to lift back up.
Yeah.
So the idea is, like, as a cast film, you're heating it up.
Yeah.
So after we put it down in here, we will heat it up.
Literally molding it.
To mold it, and then we want our adhesive to set, and that's called post-heating. So we will post-heat everything, and that's gonna allow the cast vinyl to harden and hold in this position. So we're just gonna put a little bit of heat on, and that's gonna allow it just to stretch this out right here, while we're gonna just slowly kind of push our material back up into our corner. Okay? And if you get a little schmutzy in there, you just pull it back, go ahead and fix it. And now again, we're gonna just pull the rest of our vinyl out this way, because it doesn't matter that you've got pressure on the vinyl on an outside angle. You don't want pressure on the vinyl on an inside angle. That's like the mindset and kind of what you have to think about as we're going about doing an install.
After watching Josh for a while, he was kind enough to let me have a go. The first thing I found was that the vinyl was much more pliable than I originally thought once you add heat to it. The heat softens it to the point where it can be stretched and then laid down and contoured over the vehicle surfaces. Too little heat and its pliability goes away. Too much heat and it will literally burn through and then tear, which means you've got to start all over again. While most of the Hornet was going to be wrapped in one color, there was still the matter of the hood graphics that needed to be tended to. For this, Daley Visual utilizes a graphics software program that models everything out. Then, once complete, said graphics are sent to a die-cut machine, where they're cut out and ready for installation. This was also the first time we'd get to see the hood graphics that would finalize our interpretation of what a Dodge Hornet GLHS could possibly look like.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up pulling the release liner and we're gonna pull it halfway back.
Yep.
And you're gonna hold both sides together.
Okay.
Hold up here. Grab both of those.
Yes, sir.
Straight over. It's kind of like that. Make sure you're covering up at the top. Are you covering up at your top corner?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Just go ahead and set it right about there. That's fine. Go ahead and grab your other corner up there. And you're going to want to pop that up just a little bit. Pull it up. Keep it glassy.
Okay.
Now pull it down. There you go.
Do you want to have that much bubble underneath there?
This is fine. I can stretch this in. It's not going to go anywhere. Pull tight, pull tight. There you go. That's okay, we'll go back. But it's a lot about just tension and just pull. Pull this back, some heat on it, which will help heal our material back.
Your spot there, that all comes.
Okay, and just kind of keep her flat. Relax at the, exactly.
Okay.
Lay and relax at the same time. And kind of just keep chasing it down. Nice clean strokes all the way down. Pull it back and get the whole thing smooth and glassy. There you go. Start from up here and go all the way to your end.
I mean, I know this might not seem cool, but you have no idea how completely satisfying this is to do.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Can you reach around me? There you
Awesome.
go. Go ahead. I'm going to take us back down here. I'll get that out. Don't worry about it.
As we said in the beginning of the series, our inspiration for our Swarm of One Hornet came from the Dodge turbo cars of the 1980s. But now, seeing these new GLHS graphics being applied, man, did it just make it all come together. On the final episode of Hornet, A Swarm of One, we head out into the middle of the desert to a little-known raceway to see if all of our hard work and effort pays off.